Hey guys, this is Max Headspace 9mm, and as promised, I'm going to share my PS90 SBR adventure with you. So it's been a couple of months since you saw my PS90. And prior to getting it, I got a really good deal on some ammo. I got 2,000 rounds of this online before the price went up. I got this before I got the gun. And that just made a lot of sense. Once you have the ammo, you need something to shoot out of it, right? And I'm really glad I did, because that ammo is through the roof right now. There's just no way of getting it at a reasonable price these days. So unfortunately, I'm not going to shoot this very much until things get reasonable again. But the process of doing SBR paperwork is really not that painful. It was pretty easy. I went onto some kind of a government website. I think it was called eforms.net, or it might be .gov, I'm not exactly sure, but it's basically NFA forms. I filled out their online questionnaire and provided a passport photo of myself, my beautiful face, and I basically submitted it, and it wasn't easy. There was something about government that they get bogged down really quickly. Fortunately, Mr. Biden has hired a whole bunch of new NFA agents, so that's good, I think. Should at least speed up the process. Anyway, the first time I applied, my application was denied. You can imagine the terror. I think my face went white when I saw that. I get this email, application denied. So I called a phone number that they provided and I asked, what happened? Why was I denied? And the nice NFA agent informed me that my application had timed out. And I asked, what in the world does that mean? And they said, well, you didn't get us the confirmation number we sent you in time. You're supposed to receive the confirmation number and then put that confirmation number on your fingerprint cards, send them in for review, and then you are accepted. Well, I said I never got a confirmation number, and she just informed me, well, I guess you'll have to apply again. So the second time was much easier, and that leads me to my next point. This is actually not a hard process. Once you go through it once, you might as well do it 4 or 5 times. So I think I am going to do it again. The second time I did it, much easier. Confirmation, got my number, put it on the fingerprint cards, mailed them in, and I was accepted as a new member of an SBR. Okay, so now what do I do next? Well, the next thing is I was given an email form. It instructed me to print 2 copies, one of which I keep for my records, the other one I give to the local sheriff's department. So I took my copy down to the sheriff's department, handed it to the clerk, and asked them, what do you do with these? And they said, oh, we just put them in a file, and we'll probably never look at it unless it's involved in a crime or stolen. So I think that's pretty good. At least I'm hopeful. I think local sheriffs are pretty cool, and they're very much about our Second Amendment rights. At least they are in my town. I hope they are in yours too. All right, enough of this jibber jabber. Let's look at the gun. So this is a PS90, 16-inch barrel as the government mandates. And we want to do away with this. We want to do something much cooler than a 16-inch barrel. We want to do something even cooler than the original. Now this is by a company, let's see, Imperial Arms Company in Plainfield, yeah, 5x7x28. This is an FN90 receiver. That's what it says right here. And this is billet aluminum, milled billet aluminum. And they put the line of sight down lower, drop it by about 1 inch from the original, which is good because I like to get a decent cheek weld on a gun. And this puts it at a much better height. And we got a magazine which is empty. And look at that. Look how compact that is compared to before. That is just the coolest. I love that. So I was thinking, well, here. I've got my Halcyon 22 can here. Let's, even with this on here, Even with this on here, it's smaller than with the 16-inch barrel. And we're suppressed. And these things suppress really well, I've heard from good authority by somebody who actually has one and suppresses it all the time. So look at that. If that isn't cool, I don't know what is. So I was wondering what kind of an optic to put on here, because I love lights and lasers on a gun, if I can do it. I have this. This is the very first red dot I ever got. This is by a company called Visum, and it's not a super expensive unit, but it's really pretty cool because it has a light and a laser and a red dot all in one unit. And it's been great. I mean, it has served me well all these years. I've had this thing probably for about 10 years now, and it's still going strong. So let me get it adjusted here. Let's see. There we go. Now, look at this. Look at this thing. It's kind of big, I will admit. It adds something to the size, but this thing is at the perfect eye height, and it has a light and a laser all built in. Super cool. So you're pretty much set. You got everything now. There's nothing I can't do. Of course, I'd love to have something that is night vision compatible. Maybe that'll come up soon. Actually, this has a very, very low setting for the dot, and I think it would be night vision compatible. But this light and laser are not. So, you know, I'm sure that at some point off in the future, Surefire will come out with some really cool thing that will work for me. Another thought that I had is this down here, the grip, the lower part of this gun is largely hollow. You can unscrew this and it comes apart in two halves. And I was actually thinking about maybe putting a light and laser mounted right on this tab down here and running the wire in here and putting batteries in there and maybe some tape switches on it. That would be really compact and cool. And then I could get by with a micro red dot up here, which is all you really need for a gun like this. So that's where we are with this. One of these days, I'll get it out shooting and I'll share the footage with you. I'll shoot it suppressed and unsuppressed, and we'll have some fun with it. Until that day, this is Max Headspace 9mm. Have a good one.